Hello and welcome to the Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. I'm Matt Mercer, instructor for the Pathfinder School and the founder of the Black Cat Bushcraft channel right here on YouTube. And this afternoon I've come out to our family's farm. We're here on the corner of the property and we were collecting up some resources for some upcoming bushcraft projects. And I figured while I was out today, it'd be a good time to once again cook up another subscriber submitted recipe. And with that, of course, somebody, one of you guys out there, will be winning some free Pathfinder cooking gear coming to you from Reliance Outfitters. I'm excited about today's recipe. It's one that's been published in our Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen Cookbook, so that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to trying this one, and I hope you guys will stick with me for it. So let's get started, and let's have a good time today on Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about today's recipe and of course announce our winner of this episode. And in our little Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen Cookbook, right inside, the top recipe here is for hamburger soup. This recipe was submitted to us by Patrick Johnson, so congratulations, Patrick. You'll be receiving a care package from Reliance Outfitters with all of the cooking gear that I used to prepare your recipe today. I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a nice hearty meal, and we're going to get started cooking it right now. By the way, do you have a favorite recipe that you like to enjoy when you're spending time in the great outdoors? If so, go ahead and submit a copy of that recipe to the email address listed down at the bottom of your screen, and that'll get your name and your recipe entered into our data bank of recipes that I pull from each time I come out to film a new episode of our show. Remember, this is a win-win. It's a chance for you to win free Pathfinder outdoor cooking gear, and it's a chance for me to enjoy your favorite recipe out here in the great outdoors. So don't wait, go ahead and send that recipe over, and I look forward to hearing from you. All right, to get started on cooking, we're gonna process our onion, our potatoes, and our garlic. And all of that stuff gets cooked down with our beef to begin with. We'll brown the beef and kind of cook down these veggies a little bit. And we're just gonna dice this onion. I am gonna cook the whole recipe today, so I'm using the 128 ounce Pathfinder stainless steel bush pot, which you see here. We're just gonna dice this onion. We're not gonna go too fine with it. I'm gonna just turn all of that to the side here and just kind of rough dice it. A lot of times on the show, you guys have noticed that I will cut back on the recipe because I'm cooking for just myself, but I'm gonna carry the rest of this back home and share it with my family. And I actually have my daughter out in the field with me today, so I'm sure I'm going to be sharing some of this with her as well. Hopefully she'll like it. And once again, we'll rake all that into our bush pot. All right, and next we have our potatoes. We're going to dice these as well. Sometimes I'll peel these potatoes. I washed these really good before I left the house, so I'm going to keep the peels on. Because when I was a kid, my mom always said, you got to eat the peeling because that's where all the vitamins are. Now, I don't know that I believe any of that, but when you're out in the field, sometimes you kind of do things the rustic way. And so we're going to keep these peels right on the potato. Seems like I had somebody comment on that one time recently, that I should have left the peels on. So for whoever said that, this one's for you. All right, it looks good. We almost had one get away. And unfortunately, I don't want to sample any raw potato today. Let's see if I can keep these in the pot. Perfect. I don't think I missed any. All right, let's move on. Now this recipe does call for a couple of cloves of garlic, so I'm just going to dice these up real fine. And of course throw those into our bush pot as well. All right, so we got our garlic chopped up a little bit. We'll add that to our bush pot as well. All right, so we're gonna fire up the stove here, just like that. I'm gonna drop that heat back. All right, so I'm just gonna set my bush pot here on this butane stove. It's just a Coleman butane stove. We'll set our cutting board out of the way for the time being. And as you can see, I have my cooler here. And with that, we have 1 pound of nice lean hamburger. All right, so in this 64-ounce stainless bush pot, I have my hamburger, my garlic, and onions. And I have my potatoes in this 128-ounce stainless bush pot. What we'll do is brown our hamburger and cook down those onions and garlic a bit. When that's ready, I'll add it to the 128-ounce bush pot and we'll add in the rest of our ingredients. So for now, our task is to brown our hamburger. All right, let's take a look at our hamburger. Oh yeah, that's looking really good. This stuff is starting to render up some fat. Those onions are cooking down nice. Just a little bit longer to go, but yeah, this is coming right along. Once this hamburger is done, we're going to transfer that back into our 128-ounce bush pot and add in the rest of our ingredients so we can kind of stew that down and create a soup. But yeah, this is really starting to render some fat. It looks good. I noticed I got a little potato or two in there that snuck in, little turkeys. They're not supposed to be in there yet, but that's all right. We'll pre-cook them a little bit too. Won't hurt a thing. All right, I'm gonna give this a couple more minutes and then we'll be ready to move on to our next step. All right, so our hamburger is definitely ready here. I'm gonna take that off the burner and just set it over here on the ground. I have my bush pot here with our potatoes in it. What I'm gonna do is just pour our hamburger in with our potatoes. All right, and we'll set that aside. Mix all that in. Now we need 32 ounces of beef stock. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on our stove. And this is exactly 32 ounces of beef stock. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that in to our pot. All right, so our next ingredient is to add in our diced tomatoes with all the juice. Right, and we also need to add in a can of tomato soup. This one is a spicy tomato soup, which maybe will just make it a little bit better. It's always good to add a little spice in there. All right, and I'll get that cleaned out real good here in a minute. We're gonna just mix all that stuff in together. Kind of get that all assimilated. And of course, we're gonna just give it time to stew down and cook those potatoes real good. And I think this is gonna be a nice, hearty meal. All right, we'll put the top on and let that do a little cooking. All right, so we're ready to add in some of our seasonings. And the first one is Italian seasoning. And normally I don't carry measuring spoons. If you guys watch the show, you probably know that. But I just happen to have my chuck box with me in the truck. And there is a set of cheap measuring spoons that I keep in that chuck box. So I might as well take advantage of them. We also need 1 bay leaf. So we'll pick a nice pretty bay leaf out of this jar. And we'll throw him in there. Right, I love the taste of bay. It adds a lot of real nice flavor. And we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of Lea & Perrins, not Worcestershire sauce, Lea & Perrins. Lea & Perrins. All right, just want to be clear about that. And these seasonings are really starting to make this smell good out here. So we're going to add 1, 2, 2. I love Worcestershire sauce. It adds a lot of flavor to something. And I may even add some more before it's over with if I don't taste it enough. And with that, we're down to the old salt and pepper. And we gotta have plenty of black pepper here. So I'm gonna add some of that. We don't need that little sifting setting. We need the big one. There we go. All right, and of course we need a little salt. We'll keep that on sift because I don't need too much of that. That looks good. We'll play that by ear, add more as we need. Now we're just gonna mix all that stuff in. Let these flavors start to assimilate good together. Let this stuff cook down. And this is gonna be good to eat. I can't wait. All right, we'll put the top back on it. We'll let the stove work its magic. All right, so this pot's been cooking about 10 minutes now. We've got a little bit of a boil here. It smells fantastic. It looks really good. Everything's cooking together well. And what we need to do now is mix in our vegetables. Now this recipe calls for a package of frozen mixed vegetables. And I didn't have any frozen mixed vegetables, so I've got a few small cans. One with some green beans, and I've already pre-drained these. The second one is green peas and carrots. We're gonna add that in the mix. And the last one is some sweet yellow corn. We're gonna add that in the mix as well. This pot is getting pretty full. It's gonna be plenty of food. I think this would feed a big family, honestly. And it basically looks at this point like vegetable soup, at least how I'm used to it being. Nice and colorful. I'm sure this would be a hearty, healthy meal. It would probably be a great meal for a cold weather camp. Unfortunately, it's not cold weather where I'm at. It's sweltering heat, but nonetheless, it's gonna be a good meal, and we're gonna let this simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes. Letting them flavors mesh, and we're gonna have something good to eat. So I was taking just a minute to make sure everything's mixed good, nothing's burning on the bottom, and my daughter saw that bay leaf in the pot, and she said, "Daddy, there's a leaf in the pot." She wasn't familiar with the bay leaf for seasoning. I told her it was the seasoning. She says, "I'm not eating a leaf." Of course, you take the bay leaf out. Anyway, thought it was funny.
You know a leaf fell in your pot.
No, that's a bay leaf. I put it in there on purpose for seasoning.
I'm not eating a bay leaf.
All right, so let's take one more look at this. It's been simmering for about 20 minutes now, and everything has really started to cook down. Those potatoes have gotten soft, and it smells fabulous, and I think everything's ready. I think all we need to do now is just serve up a bowl of this stuff, let it cool off so we can eat it, and it's gonna be mealtime. I can't wait. All right, you guys know what it's time for. That official meal reveal. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a delicious, hearty, satisfying soup with all that beef cooked in beef broth with those Italian seasonings, all them veggies, garlic, onions. It's gonna be a bowl full of flavor that would be satisfying for anyone in any camp, and I cannot wait. Oh yeah. All right, so it's finally time to eat. I've got my bowl fixed here. And of course, anytime I'm gonna enjoy a delicious meal out here in the great outdoors, I'm gonna take just a moment to say thanks. All right, the moment I have been waiting for. It's time for the official taste test. Still really hot. Man, all them flavors really come together well. I can taste those Italian seasonings. I definitely got some pepper in it, that black pepper. And I think that spicy tomato soup versus just regular tomato soup definitely made a difference. It's got some kick to it. It almost tastes like I put hot sauce in it. Very hot, temperature-wise, as well as spice-wise. So when I was cooking down the hamburger with the onion and the garlic, some of that garlic and onion kind of blackened just a little bit on the bottom of the pot, and it gave it just a little bit of a char taste in a very, very good way. Just a little piece, a couple of pieces of it burnt, but it kind of just added that little bit of char flavor to the soup, almost like a smoke flavor. Perfect. Potatoes are cooked down perfect, nice and soft. Onions are all translucent. If it was a wintertime camp, nice and cold out here, this would be so perfect. It's kind of hot for today. It's, you know, summertime out here. I've been working and moving around. I'm sweating. Now I'm eating hot soup, which is adding to that, but it's so good. Definitely a do-againer in the fall. When fall comes, I will be making this again. Of course, I've got to bring you guys in for a little taste test here. I'm not going to wait until the end of the bowl for you guys. I'm going to give you the select spoonful this time. Look at that stuff. Man, that stuff is good. It's got a great, great flavor. The Worcestershire sauce, that's a big addition to this. The Italian seasoning, the Worcestershire sauce, the bay leaf, just adds a lot of flavor to this. So I'm not going to keep torturing you guys eating this delicious hamburger soup in front of you. I do highly suggest that you give this recipe a try. It's a delicious recipe. Definitely think it would be best in fall or winter, cold weather, sitting around a hunting camp. Man, this stuff would really, really hit the spot. Of course, you wouldn't have to use hamburger. You could use venison or any other wild game that you might have to substitute into this recipe. Remember, with any of the recipes that I show here on the show, you can always customize those and add or take away things to make it fit your taste. But this one, just as it is just about perfect in my opinion. So once again, I'd like to say thank you to Patrick for submitting this delicious recipe. I know it's one that I'll use again, especially when the weather breaks and cools off in the fall. I look forward to this one. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in. Don't forget that if you have a delicious recipe that you'd like to see cooked on this show, I would love to try it. All you have to do is submit it to that email address listed at the bottom of your screen, and that'll get you into our database that I pull from each time that I come out to film this show. So once again, thank you for your time, interest, and support. I know I'm speaking not just for myself, but for all of the staff at Self-Reliance Outfitters. We appreciate you guys, and I look forward to coming back at you again with another recipe again very soon. And until that one, you guys take care and be safe. I've got a bowl of soup to enjoy.
Daddy, that stuff is so good. Can I please have some more?
Yes, love. You can have all you want. We got a whole pot full.